All right. Happy Wednesday, you guys. Welcome to what I think this is the last show of September. This is Midnight Hatter Live, the weekly variety show where we talk Gundam, gaming, and Gunpla. I am your host, Stephen Bayless, aka Midnight Hatter, and not joining me tonight is the ever unpresent Adam Blue. Now he had some things that he had to tend to, so we are going to be flying solo tonight, but that's okay because there's a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I would love to get to some 3D modeling stuff and show you guys some of the progress that we've made on the Ilfrith pre-production type chest plate that we started working on a couple of weeks back. But man, I tell you, there's so much going on in G Generation Eternal right now that I would be remiss if I didn't gush about it to you guys for just a little bit. I'm a little upset because I know that Adam would have tons to say about this stuff, but it is what it is. So we are going to go through it. I was unfortunately unable to get my screen mirroring working because what I was going to do was stream the game from my phone to Video Ninja, which apparently you can do through the Video Ninja app, but it was kind of bugging out on me, so I wasn't able to get that going, because then, I mean, that would have been cool to just kind of walk you through everything. So instead, we are going to be looking through the Twitter account. I've got some cool screenshots that I can share with you of everything that's going on, and yeah, that's gonna be tonight's show. Yeah, because last week was interesting. They announced that there was the SDG Generation Eternal half anniversary, which is kind of a strange thing. It's like celebrating your half birthday. So they have a half anniversary celebration going on right now. Obviously, there is the link on their Twitter account where you can go and you can do these kind of polls where on September 30th, you can actually pick what your favorite super secret rare, super rare, and rare units are, and you get them for free. So, I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that? But before we get into the other stuff and the big announcements that they've been dropping on the live stream this week, I have some things that I want to share with you guys. I was able to finally get the screen for the new screen for my 3D printer installed and working. Everything is running smoothly. In fact, I even have some test prints that I want to show off to you guys because these are going to be the first resin cast product available on the store. That's right, because the deck boxes that are on there, those are, they're 3D printed and then painted and finished and all that good stuff. These I am definitely going to be casting and shipping out to you guys. It is also the first Gunpla product that I'm actually going to be shipping out to you. And what better than hands? So I don't know if you guys can see that too well, but we have a whole plethora of hands. I mean, this is this is right and left, so, take that with a grain of salt. But we have a lot of different hand options. I feel like there's a lot of hands available, like 3D printed hands that you can buy online. One thing that I don't like about them is that typically when you buy 3D printed hands or 3D printed Gunpla parts in general online, they're going to ship them on the supports. And so you're going to have to clean them up, you're going to have to snip the supports off, all that stuff. I don't want to do that. I want to send you guys a clean, ready to use part out of the box, turnkey, whatever, bespoke, whatever marketing term you want to go with for it. And I wanted to see if we could throw in some additional interesting hand poses, right? So like one of the things that I did was I of course made it work with entry grade Gundams. But here's the thing is the entry grade Gundam and the most recent run of high grade Gundams have almost a super compatible hand structure design. And here I will show you this because here's your entry grade Gundam. I'm recreating the last shooting, obviously, which is why he's missing his head. So that's the beam rifle that goes in his hand, right? Well, let's take a look at our high grade Witch from Mercury pre-production Ilfrith, and we're just going to take his beam rifle, and boom. I mean, granted, the joint's a little weaker on the entry grade, so he doesn't quite hold it up as well, but it seems to me that, oh, and I mean, if we just wanted to hammer the point home, this is the beam spray gun that comes with the It's the Alice Gundam from, Build Divers. It's the core Gundam that I used as fodder for the Core Zeta, and again, fits right in the entry grade Gundam's hand. So it seems to me like because of the real grade and because there's other options that Bandai is making, that their high grades are going in the direction of having cheaper, like, uh, you know, tension fit hands like the way that the entry grades do. And so I figured let's lean into that and let's make our own version. I actually made a few different versions of the hands that hold weapons. Um, we've got this guy here, which is just the standard hand. It's a little bigger than the entry grade Gundam's hand, which, you know, nobody likes small hands. That's like that joke from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So just look at the size difference. This here is the entry grade Gundam hand, and this is my hand. A little bit bigger, a little girthier. um, so I really like having kind of bigger proportioned hands on my mobile suits. But we're also doing some fun stuff. So, for instance, if you needed a pointer finger, we've got the Pointer Gundam for a good scolding. Additionally, let's say you wanted just like the little palm flare. This is for that, like, if you were trying to do the kind of martial arts hands, this is like a good palm out, palm out maneuver. Now, this is one that I'm particularly proud of. Now, you might not understand why this is important to me, but this is the C cup hand. So it's just a hand that's kind of shaped in a C cup as if to hold the barrel of a rifle, because how frustrating is it when you are going to pose your Gunpla and you've got, like, you want it to hold its rifle with both hands, and instead of cupping the weapon, either it's got a fist underneath it and so it just kind of like sits like that, or you have like the open palms that the kaku knuckles come with, and so you have like this kind of pose. So what I did was I created a cupped hand that allows you to cup the rifle the way that you would hold it if you were actually, let's see, if you were actually holding a rifle. So that one I am quite proud of. We also have, this is just the default hand pose before I kind of did anything with it. But if you wanted to, you could use it as like a judo chop, or maybe use it as like a salute, which I think would be kind of cool. What else do we have? So we had pointer finger. So I have pointer finger, and then we've also got shining finger. So with the thumb out, boom, bang, finger guns. We have tilted hands for gripping melee weapons. Always good. So, like, if you're familiar with some of the older high grades that have like the hand that's tilted down, this one is good for. Let's see if I can pop one of the beam sabers in there. See, this is a little snug. I need to work on the scale of the hole that holds the weapon. But yeah, it basically is angled 20 degrees downward to allow you to have a beam saber extended. But if that wasn't cool enough, guys, I come on, I'm not done yet. We've got peace. So we've got the peace fingers. And these are all right and left, by the way. Like, all of them come in right and left variations. My absolute favorite that I made is this right here. So this is a molded beam saber hand. However, it is designed with a 1.2 millimeter hole that fits your beam saber. Now, this is the beam saber from the Origin RX-78. Obviously, all beam sabers kind of have like a slightly different scale hole, so it would be kind of difficult to try and match every single one. But if you have an Origin beam saber or any of the ones that match that, that is you're good to go. You've got a beam saber hand, and it's firmly gripped. You're not gonna have to worry about wiggling or anything like that. So this one is one that I'm particularly proud of. Ooh, lost a kneecap there. And again, like I said, everything comes in right and left variations, so you can have your two beam saber hands ready to go. Pow. So let me know in the chat if there are any other hands that you'd like to see. Personally, I think that this is a huge, awesome variety, but I'm a little biased. uh, so yeah, I think I showed them all off to you. These are, of course, going to be available for the Patreon supporters at the start of next month. But again, these I will be making available on the website to purchase physical copies of them so that you're not having to print them out yourself. So that is the plan. Pricing and all that stuff, details to follow. Not sure exactly how they're all going to work yet until we kind of get the molds built and do all of that good stuff. But I am thrilled with how they turned out, and the detail on them is pretty solid. I mean, it's not. I wanted to make it more high grade entry grade, so it's not like a real grade. It's not going to have tons of little panel lines on it, but perfect. Ultronymous says, "Would it be too nerdy and or legal to do the Vulcan salute?" Um, I mean, I was thinking of doing that. I was thinking of doing like metalhead. Um, there's all kinds of stuff that we can do for sure. So yeah. So with that said, let's go ahead and hop into the screen share here. We're gonna go through all of this crazy stuff that's going on in G Generation Eternal, and hopefully you guys are getting in on it. Personally, I feel like they did this to drag me in because last week I mentioned to you guys that I was not going to play the story mode um, this time around. Let me see if it's still open here. So if we go to um, the current event, here we've got the story event. It is an IBO Operation Gecko. Now, I do like the Gundam Astaroth. I think that's the one that's in there. Is that right? It is my favorite of the IBO designs, which is not saying a whole lot. um, but yeah, I'm just not interested in anything IBO. So I was like, this is going to be the first event that I'm not going to play. And then they made this announcement about the half anniversary and all of these panel missions that you can fill out in order to get extra perks. And so here I am playing through the IBO Operation Gecko mission. So here we are over on the English G Generation Twitter account. Oh, they also have this going on is the Cherished Memories campaign. You can get a few bonus diamonds for hopping in. Um, Obviously, when you log in, you're getting half anniversary perks. Looks like the if you log in for 7 days, you get what is that 2,100 diamonds? That's I mean, if you log in for all 7 days, you get a free 10 pull basically because it would be 3,000 diamonds. So it's worth it for that if you're playing the game. Additionally, let's look at everything else that they're showing because they announced a whole bunch of new stuff coming out. Um, they're continuing the IBO storyline. They're basically continuing everything, all of the development trees that are incomplete. They're doing all of them except which for Mercury, which is kind of interesting. And I don't think they're even doing Gundam X. Let me double check that because I'm fairly sure that was not the case. Because I was particularly interested in getting like the Airmaster Burst and those, but if I remember correctly, we're not getting them. Let me just double check here. Um, we're just gonna do some live research on stream here, which I think, if we just go with our good friends, Principality New York, I am pretty sure that they threw these things up. All right. So shout out to the guys at Principality New York for breaking this. This is all the stuff that they announced during the live stream that I was like, I'll just figure it out when I'm when I'm actually playing it. So, Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn being added, G Gundam Part 2, blech, Stardust Memory Part 2, which that one I'm actually pretty excited about. Iron Blooded Orphans Part 2, Gundam Side Story The Blue Destiny, and Brilliant Hathaway. So they're announcing like all of these little add-on stories. So yeah, Gundam X getting neglected again. See the things that I want, Gundam X, Witch from Mercury, no love. Instead, we get more IBO, some Hathaway, some Unicorn. So these are the units that are going to be added. Not all of them, obviously, but a good handful of them. You know, you got the Kshatriya, the Sinanju, Krakazulu, the Full Armor Unicorn, Banshee, Silver Bullet, Lodo, Shamblo. Obviously, we'll get some new characters associated with that as well. G Gundam, we're going to get another form of the Dark Gundam. We're going to get the Grand Master Gundam, the Burning Gundam, the Nobel Gundam, which that one will be pretty cool to have. And then, of course, yeah, as part of that, we're going to get Alan B. Beardsley and a couple of the other G fighters. So that I'm excited. This is, of course, the most exciting. The GPO3, the GPO3 Dendrobium Orcus, the GM Quell, the Nuziel, the Drossi, and the Gerbera Tetra. Those are getting added to the, this is going to be Stardust Memory Part 2. It was a little bit of a bummer that Stardust Memory was an event story. It wasn't a, full story in the game, but I'll take it. And I'll play through that one. um, Seema Garahau and Carius Otto are going to be some characters added. They already added most of the characters that you would play. You know, Koguraki. They have an ultra rare Honorable Gato. So here we go with the Iron Blooded Orphans Part 2. So the Hashimal, the Gundam Bale, Kamaris Vidar, yeah, all that good stuff. The Lupus Rex. If you're into that stuff, that's going to be added to the actual the Iron Blooded Orphans full story mode. Interesting, they're adding a Vidar playable character. The Blue Destiny, of course, we're going to get an Freak Custom, a couple of the Blue Destiny units. We'll probably get the Blue Destiny Unit 3 as well, if I had to guess, unless they're going to break it into two parts the way that they did with, like, Thunderbolt, with 0083, that kind of thing. We get the Kasai Gundam and the Penelope from Hathaway. We get a new ultra rare unit, the Unicorn Gundam Destroy Mode Awakened, as if we need more unicorn stuff in our lives. I'm sure a lot of you guys are actually excited about that because the unicorn, the ultra rare unicorn, is like the only unicorn in there right now. Here we go, the Burning Gundam EX with Domon Kashu on fire. F91, so they're going to get some representation. Not that anyone asked for it, or at least certainly I didn't. And then a bunch of new SSR units. It looks like there's a bunch of the Super Mode G Gundam units. Again, kind of silly stuff. I'll definitely go for that Rizel because, I'm a big fan of anything Zeta type. So this is all the stuff that's coming down the pipe. But that's not even addressing the stuff that they've got going on as part of this campaign. So there is a 46 free pull half anniversary celebration. You have to earn tickets in order to do it. You have to earn 30 tickets. This is actually a screenshot from my game, and look at that. This started today, and I'm already at 22 out of 30. That's not a testament to like me playing the game a lot. It's a testament to how easy it is to actually get these tickets. A lot of it is just logging in and doing the things. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. So what's amazing about this is that it's a second chance to get a lot of the ultra rare units that were, part of previous events, previous banner units. So like the Death Scythe Hell from Endless Waltz, the Psycho Zaku from Thunderbolt. Let's see, there's a lot of other yeah, there's a ton of the banner suits from previous events. Not the Zeta Gundam, so, the O is in it, but obviously. So you get these 30 tickets and you get 46 mobile suits in one shot. Minimum 2 ultra rare units guaranteed. So, come on, like, log in, do your dailies, get the loot. And let me show you what I mean by how easy it is to get these tickets. So here is how it works. You've got these panels, similar to when you first start the game and you have the advanced mission panels where it's like beat an Eternal Road stage on expert, max out a character, level up a character to level 90, fully awaken a character like using limit breaks. So stuff like that. I mean, some of these things, look, we've got use 1000 AP. So if you just play, because every mission takes 10 AP, so if you just play 100 missions, or you can just skip them because, as Adam would love to point out, this is basically a menu simulator. You can just, hammer through the menus. Um, so yeah, I mean, 200 missions and you get another ticket. Complete a character request 20 times. You typically, because the characters, you'll get 3 of them that visit like every 4 hours. No, 4 to 8 hours. So, you could, in theory, just do this once a day. Like, do 3 character missions per day, and you'd be set. Because dig this, it goes until October 31st, so you have a month to do all of these things. Complete 10 character requests, 20 character requests. You see, I'm already at 6, so we're already halfway there, living on a prayer. This is, and so yeah, I've already just about finished panel 3. Panel 1 is the one that's taking me the longest because panel 1, this is where they got me. Panel 1 is all story missions. It's you have to beat story missions 10 times. You have to beat at least one boss mission on every difficulty. You have to reset the story mission rewards counter 3 times. So, of course, I'm thinking, man, do I wait until the Stardust memory and potentially miss out on it? No. So I've got to play IBO in order to get in order to get my tickets. So basically, if you finish all 3 of these panels and log in for 7 days, you get all 30 tickets that you need in order to get your 46 free pulls. 2 ultra rares guaranteed. And by the way, each time you finish one of these panels, you get another 1,000 diamonds. So that means if you finish all 3 panels, you get a free 10 pull on top of that with a guaranteed super secret rare. Mind-boggling, right? Mind-boggling how generous this game is. That I mean, you said it right here, Ultronymous. This is an incredibly, incredibly generous game. 7 hells. This game is generous. Um, so man, I can't tell you guys how excited I am. Obviously, there's Master League going on right now as well, which once that wraps up, I'll finally be able to complete my ultra rare Zeta Gundam because I'll get enough UR um, limit break tokens in order to limit break it. So on top of all of that, let's look at what is going on in the base here. So they have these little banners going up in celebration. There's kind of decoration around the base that's not usually there. Unfortunately, you can't see them. But if you are like me and you've already done all of the requests for all of the characters that have character requests, they have limited edition character requests that are from all of the colorful Haros. So a pink Haro, orange Haro, purple Haro, green Haro. The Haros have special requests for you. So you can get additional perks by doing those character requests instead of just the normal character requests. But honestly, you might as well do all of them because part of the bonus comes from doing the character requests anyway. So let's get this straight. By doing all those panels, You get 46 free pulls, 2 guaranteed ultra rares. You get 3,000 diamonds, which equates to 10 free pulls on top of that, with the guaranteed SSR. Then, of course, there's the free SSR, SR, and R units that you can get um, as part of the campaign that you do through Twitter. Let me hop back over there, see if we can pull up that link. Yeah, here it is. Choose your favorite SSR half anniversary early bird unit assembly campaign. So you kind of do a unit assembly on the browser version, and then at the end of September, you get your favorite units from that selection. So you're getting a ton of free mobile suits or supporters, whatever the case may be. You're getting free units. And this is just for the 6-month anniversary of the game coming out. Lord only knows what they're going to do next year when the proper anniversary comes along. Um, I mean, shoot, even just during this maintenance completion notice, like every time they do maintenance, they usually kick you between 500 and 1,000 diamonds. So, you know, they're constantly giving out free goodies. Um, I might have mentioned that currently Master League Season 4 is going on. I'm a big fan of the Master League because it's the PvP light kind of version of the game. And it happens to be one of the only ways that you can level up an ultra rare unit, or limit break, I should say, limit break an ultra rare unit without spending money to get those to get that unit again. Which I hate being a slave to RNG, as you guys know. I like things within my control. So here is my screen here. Let me just hop back into full screen mode, so hopefully you guys will be able to see this. This is the shop where we've got our Master League medals. You see that one that's grayed out there? That is an ultra rare limit break material. Once per season, if you have 2,000 of the Master League medals, you can get one of those and limit break one of your ultra rare units. In my case, I'm going to be doing it with the Zeta, which will be the final limit break for that guy. So I'll be maxing out that Zeta. And it really is easy to kind of control your destiny because you get 1,000 Master League tokens just by getting to the top level of like just the basic uh reward. So obviously, you've got all the little tiers in there. Silver League, Platinum League, Diamond League. If you make it up to Master League, doesn't matter what your final score is. As long as you make it into that tier, you get 1,000 Master League tokens that you can spend on that. So between that or um, if you end up using unit assembly a ton and you start dismantling those units that you don't necessarily want, like I think I had like a ton of rare uh like a Rick Diaz and like Hyzax and Leo space types, things like that. I was like, well, I'm not going to use them and I'm not going to max them out because they're really not going to be of any use in the game. So dismantle all of those, get yourself some rare tokens, and hop into the rare token shop, because if you dismantle 1,000, well, I think you get 2 rare tokens, rare medals, I should say. So you get 2 rare medals when you dismantle a rare unit. So what is that? 500. If you dismantle 500 units, then you can get 1 ultra rare limit break material. These are the secrets that they hide behind you, when it comes to like being a free to play game. So you can get all of the things that you want in this free to play game. It's actually not even that much of a commitment. So like I said, I just had to share all that stuff with you. I had to share, of course, the roadmap that they have with all of these new things coming out. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't announce X or Witch from Mercury getting extended, but what can you do? Hopefully, the addition of the Blue Destiny means that they're going to add things like Lost War Chronicles. That would be a cool addition. Let me know in chat what you guys would want to see as like a story event mission, because the story event missions are kind of the more fun ones because they kind of fit in with the gameplay style, and you get to kind of experience one of those stories, and they tend to be pretty easy to play through. Like if I'm being completely honest with you. Um. So yeah, I did not think that we were gonna get through all of that because, man, like I said, that was a ton of stuff that they're throwing at us for this half anniversary, and yeah, I feel like if you're into the game, sorry if you're not one of the people that's playing it. Obviously, this has been not a very interesting portion of the stream for you, but if you are, definitely be logging in every day and doing your dailies because yeah. Ultronomous says, I think age would be cool and it would force people to engage with age. Yes, it would. I saw Shirt Lad on YouTube streaming. He was playing the age game. I think it's on GameCube, which actually looked pretty fun. As far as Gundam games go, it was it wasn't SD because like the mobile suit combat was all properly proportioned, but like the character design, it kind of looked like it looked like one of those like Mega Man Legends 3D games where it was kind of like, I don't know, not a fan of that type of proportions. But yeah, I mean the gameplay looked like something I would want to see in a Gundam game. So interesting stuff. It makes me want to pick that game up just to experience age in that way. Um Cool. So let's see here. I need to get a screen share going because if we are going to do some screen sharing, then I'm gonna want to show you guys what we're doing in Blender right now. Um, let's see if so that works. I can do a whole screen share, but I'd really prefer to do just a window. Let's see if it comes up. No, nothing. Hmm. Well, then I guess what we're going to have to do is I will do a full screen share, but we're going to have to crop it down. Not my favorite thing to do, but at least you guys are going to be able to see what I have been working on. Um, Sorry for the on the fly stream design here. This is not how I typically like to operate. Again, it was frustrating enough not being able to screencast my um, not being able to screencast my phone to Video Ninja so that we could just look at my phone instead of having to do all of this business. But um, oh well. See, this is what happens when Adam's not on the show is I inherit all of the technical difficulties that would normally only affect one of us. Instead it's just hitting me. All right. I think this will work. Yeah, we're just going to crop it right there. Because you guys don't need to see my desktop. There's nothing fun on there anyway, just like hundreds of screenshotted tweets and things. Okay, so boom, here we go. This is a couple weeks ago we started molding or modeling, I should say, a Ilfrith chest piece that's going to go on to the Ilfrith pre-production type. and it's going to contain all of the 1 millimeter LEDs. And Adam brought up the most brilliant idea, which I can't believe I didn't think of this myself. Is he was like, well, why don't you just model the designs of the lights into the part that you're going to 3D print? Why didn't I think of that? So, on top of that, rather than modeling it the way that I was planning on doing, here's what we did is we just went ahead and took the mask that I made. I made an SVG, like a vector graphic mask, because I was going to print it on decal paper and then use a Cricut, like one of those machine cutters, in order to cut it out as a decal that would then go underneath the clear portion, and so it would mask out the LEDs that were shining through. So I just dropped that graphic into Blender here, and we basically just have our we have our piece. I mean, this is it, right? Like, if I were to tab in here, I have like, why is it measuring everything? Let's turn off measurements here. Okay. So if we were to do this, select all, and maybe extrude up, there we go. We've got like, I would probably make it, I mean, how small are these LEDs? Because that's really what's going to determine how big we want this thing to be. So let's see. Oh, got to turn on the old micrometer. All right, so these guys are 0.2 millimeters thick, which means we don't need a ton of room to install them. So in theory, we could just make this thing about 1 millimeter thick, which is pretty tiny. And obviously, well, let's do this again, because I want to extrude the faces, not the edges. So let's go all extrude 1. It's just showing see-through because I had the X-ray mode on. So there we go. I mean, that's basically it, right? Although it really isn't, right? Because we don't want these cutaways to go all the way through the part. We only want them on the top half. So let's come in here and we're going to do a loop cut. Hopefully this will just go, yep. So it goes around the entire edge here. And then what we can do is, let me just make sure I've got, yeah, as long as we've got backups. You know what? In fact, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to make a backup. I don't like to do anything too destructive. So whenever we're going to do a serious edit like this, it becomes important to do our backups, right? So let's turn X-ray mode back on. We'll select one of these faces, and I think what we'll just end up doing is selecting everything on this bottom half. Oh, dang it. Man, I really just want to take off the entire bottom half. So let's turn off X-ray mode. We'll just try and do a loop select. There we go. And if we we're just going to delete faces. Not exactly what we were going for, but we'll have to figure out a way around it. Let's see if we can loop cut this way. Ugh, I would have to loop cut every single one of these. That sounds miserable. So how are we going to do this? I think what we're going to do is we're going to use face select. We're going to come up underneath here. Oh, we didn't want to do a loop cut. We just want to do face select. And let's just see if we can select the entire bottom face here without selecting anything else. In orthographic mode, it shouldn't select anything in between. Yeah, we're good. Perfection. So now if we pop under here and we go to edge select mode, and we're going to select all of the edges here. Hopefully this will do the trick. We don't want to select this edge loop. Oh, so we're going to deselect that one. And then we're going to grab all of these on the Z axis and just raise them up. And it looks like it did catch some of the ones on top, so we don't want those either. Let's deselect all of these. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Because we just want the bottom side. And we're going to raise it up. It looks like, man, it's like I caught a couple of strays down here. That should be all of them. Oh, see? Got some up top here. All right. So we'll grab those on the Z axis. We're going to lift them up 0.5 millimeters. Yep. See, we got one stray here. So grab Z, negative 0.5. We'll just put it back where it's supposed to go. And I don't see any others that we missed. Oh, no, we did miss a few here. Let's go into vertex select, and we're just going to grab, or tell you what, we can do it this way. We can just grab these because it's clear that they kind of got messed up here. Like one edge went up, but the rest of it didn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to scale Z0, which resets it. And then we can put the Y value, or not the Y value, the Z value, sorry, to 0.5. There we go. I don't see any other stragglers. Oh, there's one here. So let's set that one to 0.5. And there's one here. I think that should be good. It will be very easy to tell once we create our face here on the bottom. Because like if we go into vertex select mode, well, it looks like there's a ton, but I think that those aren't like real vertices. Real vertices? I think that they are strays from when the shape was created. If I were to go in here and select these vertices, it kind of looks like I'm making constellations. We're just going to select all of these and make them disappear. Not because they're going to do any damage. Honestly, this would not affect the 3D print at all to leave these in. But just for the sake of being clean. So now we have these nice little cutaways. And so we would want to put the divots for the LEDs in the bottom here. which should be pretty easy. I mean, so 0.2 millimeters. Let's just go ahead and add a cube that's going to represent our LED. So they are 0.2 millimeters thick, and they are exactly 1 millimeter height and width and length. You guys know what I mean. So we're going to set this to 1, 1, and 0.2. We'll grab on the z-axis. Oh, there he is. I don't know how it got way the heck over there. So this is a stand-in for our LED, and we can actually use it to cut out our space for the LED in the model here. So we're going to set this to maybe like negative 0.5. I think that should put it just underneath here. Yeah. Actually, you know what? What we ought to do is we're going to set it to 0. And then we are going to do all of our edits in edit mode like a professional. Because what we're going to want to do is add a mirror modifier. As you can see now, there are 2 cubes, and that is going to allow us to put our LEDs in the same spot on both sides of the model. So, I mean, let's do this a little bit more professionally. So on the x-axis, we can put this to like 6.25 millimeters in space. And then here, let's say we wanted to make it exactly 2 millimeters spaced apart. That gives us, well, that would be 2 millimeters from the median point. We probably want them to be 2 millimeters actual space apart. So it would be 9.25 on the x-axis. But that's a little too far apart, isn't it? Maybe what we need to do is more like 8.75. 8.5. Because ultimately what we want to do is try and have a row of 3 LEDs here at the top, and then we can kind of taper them down as we get towards the front. So let's just set this to 6 millimeters. That's a little close to the edge for my taste, but you know, we are going to try it. Let's make this 8.25. So that means that they are exactly 2.25 millimeters apart each, which means this one is going to be 10.5. Yeah, looks good. So then let's shift duplicate. We're going to move these up here. And let's set the Y value. Right now it's at 4 millimeters and some change. What if we just set it to 4? Make it even here. And then we'll set this to 2. Makes them 2 millimeters apart. And then we can actually do 8.25, and it's going to put them right there in the center. I don't know. I think we might be able to fit 2 rows of 3. What do you guys think? Let's just delete those. Boop, boop, boop. And we're going to move these up. Set that to 2. Maybe 2.25. Oh, no, it would actually be 1 point because we're going the negatives. So I'm like, yeah. So it'd be 1.75 would be 2.25 away. There we go. So now it's starting to come together a little bit. So then let's grab these 2. We're going to make duplicates there. And so for this one, we'll go like negative 0.25. Is that? Maybe it's negative 0.5. There we go. So now they are all spaced evenly apart on the y-axis. Man, this is going to be a lot of LEDs. And to be honest with you, we should probably just go ahead and make them... oh, wrong one. We should probably go ahead and make them kind of taper down together at the same time. So like, if we take this and make it... oh, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's make this just 10. Yeah. And what's the X value of this? Is 5.5. So what if we just made this 5.5 or some 5? And again, I'm trying to do this with mathematic precision. And ideally, this is one step further, is what I'd like to do. So these would be the cavities for which we would put our LEDs. The first thing that I would always do is we have the mirror modifier on there. That's good. We're going to add a solidify modifier. We set the offset to 1 and we set the thickness to 0.3. As you can see, that beefs them up a little bit. And then we set it to only rim. So then we come in here and we add our Boolean. This is our cutaway modifier. And that is the cutaways for our LEDs. Those are little cavities that they will fit into. It's always important, just for tolerance sake, to add in like a little bit, probably about 0.3 millimeters of space, give or take. Sometimes I go up to 0.5 just because I tend to overprint things when I'm using my 3D printer, which is why my hands here can't hold the weapons in their current form. They're actually just a little too snug. So I've got to clean that up before these are ready for sale. But here's what I wanted to showcase to you guys is I could, in theory, just put the LEDs in there and wire them up and do it that way. Or the way that these LEDs work is they have these little pads on them, right? I mean, heck, let me see if I can just illustrate to you guys what these look like. So these are actually larger than the ones that I'm working with. These are 1.5 millimeters, as you can see, 1515. So they're 1.5 millimeters. They're a little bit bigger. But on the bottom of each of these LEDs is these little 4 pads, right? One of them is your positive, your negative, your data in, and your data out. It would be cool if on our design we basically create channels for solder paste to go, where basically I would put solder paste on top of the LEDs after they're placed inside, and then just kind of scrape off the top with a razor blade, kind of like how you would do with like grout, you know? And then we use our hot air station to solder them up. This is cool. So they actually, I mean, I've managed to do this myself with some of my tests, like just just soldering janky little things. There is no way in heck that I could do it with these with these 1 millimeter guys. So I need to find a way to make this a little bit more efficient because, like I said, I could just do this, but part of me really wants to make this a recreatable experiment. So all that is to say that if I were to design this in such a way where I could run channels and basically make it like a PCB, where I could connect the the data points that I need to connect, how cool would that be? So let's take a look at what that would look like. Um, let's so look, we're going to select all. Right? Oh yeah, sorry. I'm going to turn off the solidify modifier when we're in edit mode because it makes it a little difficult to work with. So we're going to do this, and then we are going to subdivide all of our cubes. So this kind of looks like what those pads looked like, right? You know, it's like, but let's say, um, and we can probably color code this. I might work on that next stream because we're kind of getting close to the edge here. But let's say that this is the pad for our data in from the last uh, point, right? So what I'm gonna do is extrude that little path out, and then let's rotate this on the Z. We'll do it like 45 degrees. I wish that it didn't do that. But, you know, what are we going to do? So let's do 2. Oh, 2. All right. So I need this. This is on the y-axis, so 4.5. So let's set this back to 4.5. I just want this to look clean, you know. I don't want it to look too sloppy. So 4 millimeters on this one. So we'll put 4 there. And then let's just go ahead and delete these faces because we technically don't need them. And then what we can actually do is we'll just go to select these 2 edge loops. And then there's a little magic shortcut here called bridge edge loops. So, whoa. Got all messed up there. So we bridge those edge loops. Let's tab out. As you can see, now they're connected here. And then when we go in here, there's that little channel that I was talking about. So we can actually, let's go ahead and raise this up by 0.5 millimeters so that it's maybe just 0.25. Is that too much? 0.2? 0.15. 0.1? Okay, there we go. We do want it to show out a little bit here. We don't want it to be completely hidden. But the idea is that we have those channels cut out so that then our solder paste can flow into them. And to be honest with you, part of the issue here is that this stupid solidify modifier is making it a little too rounded. If I were to do that, and then we'll set this to 0. Then if we make it go away, oh man, it's like not connected anymore. So we need it to be a little bit higher than that. So we'll do 0.1. And then let's hide it and see. Nope. All right, so here's what we need to do. We need to take all and extrude on the z-axis down a little bit. This might look a little wonky. Yeah, that's not going to work. I just want this to look right. So let's grab this. I'm not going to sign out here until we until we do this right, because I want it to look right before we call it an evening. So let's just extend this down. They're not actually this deep. We're going to kind of change the depth as needed, because it does have to be like 0.3 millimeters of depth. But there we go. That's what we want, is we just want those two pads to be connected by a path. And we'll do the same thing. Like I said, it's like designing a PCB. And this is honestly way thicker than it needs to be. Like we can tone this down, streamline it, make it a lot cleaner. And then basically, once we 3D print this and cast it in clear resin, we drop the LEDs in, we take solder paste and just cover the entire thing, scrape it with a razor blade, hit it with our hot air rework station, and we are going to be in business. It's basically a 3D printed 3D printed PCB that has a lit up screen here. And so then we can come in with like just black paint, like even just a black marker. Like I would honestly just use something like uh well, I've got one of the Gundam markers around here somewhere. Right now I've only got the red one, but a black Gundam marker. We mask out all of the parts of the design that we don't want showing, and we're good to go. Hopefully 1 millimeter is thin enough that it will fit underneath the existing plate. If not, we are going to have to sand that down a little bit, or we're going to have to design this in such a way that's going to allow, like maybe we just design it so that this is on top. I don't know. But I'm excited. I think that this is going to be a worthy project. I think it's going to actually get me across the finish line with it, because this is something that I have been working on for a long time. Shout out to Principality New York for providing the kit. I feel like I've got a lot of kits in the backlog provided by Principality New York, but because I'm always being extra and I have to do something crazy with it, like put microcontrollers and things, it makes it difficult to knock these projects out in a timely fashion. So, thank you guys for hanging with me this evening. Hopefully, you enjoyed at least half of the stream. Without Adam here to tell me that I'm wrong for not liking F91 or whatever he was going to say. But yeah, stay tuned for more 3D printed goodies. I am going to be in like full scale production mode for some Gunpla conversion parts and kits and all that good stuff. I am going to, now that I've got the printer back up and working, we're printing through some of the back orders from the website on deck boxes. Those are still available, but now I can actually print them as needed instead of having to wait until I get replacement parts in. And as you can probably tell, I'm back to using my old trusty Tech navy gray ABS like resin. We are not messing with any other white or clear resins. Those are for the birds. Well, thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll catch you tomorrow on the Gundam Explained show. Until